Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. It's time for another top 10 of movies that you can watch right now, and I've got some great ones for you this month. Let's get started. Number 10, I See You. Strange occurrences plague a small town detective and his family as he investigates the disappearance of a young boy. As the pressure mounts on the job, a strange presence seems to have taken residence in his home. I See You is a movie I've recommended before. It is amazing. I can't tell you too much. It's about someone that's abducting and killing children, and it kind of transfers into the detective's home with some really supernatural, spooky goings on. But midway through this movie, it takes a turn and becomes surprising, something unusual and very, very different. Highly recommended. Better going into this movie knowing as little as possible. Number 9, Ted 2. Months after John's divorce, Ted and Tammy Lynn's marriage seems to be on the same road. To patch things up, Ted and Tammy Lynn plan to have a child, but their failed attempts backfire disastrously. Namely, Ted is declared property by the government and loses all of his civil rights. Now Ted must fight a hopeless legal battle with an inexperienced young lawyer to regain his rightful legal status. Recently, having watched Ted and Ted 2, I think I love the second one even more. We jump into the characters, we know the situation, the humour is better, the jokes come thicker and faster. I think I prefer Amanda Seyfried as a partner for Mark Wahlberg in this one. Ridiculous non sequiturs that don't really make much sense but are just hilariously funny. The movie works. It's laugh out loud, it's riotous, it's a great time. Number 8, Escape Room. 6 strangers meet together in a room with the same choice: to escape a room and win $10,000. But when a death of a young gamer happens, they try to find the truth behind the rooms, and their only hope of survival is to escape the rooms and try not to die by the company's weird and wacky gadgets. I thought Escape Room was really good. It was a movie that I put off watching because I didn't have high hopes for it. But ultimately, I really enjoyed it. The production standards are great. The characters are some good, some bad. The situations are wonderfully creative, and it leaves you on a cliffhanger where I wanted a sequel. I wanted to see the continuation of this weird and wacky tale. Number 7, Sleepers. Set in Hell's Kitchen, Sleepers follows 4 young boys whose lives are forever changed when a prank goes disastrously wrong, and they are sent to Wilkinson Home for Boys, a place to reform. Fast forward 13 years, and a chance encounter brings the 4 boys together again for a chance at revenge. Came out in the mid-90s, directed by Barry Levinson, has an amazing cast which I won't even bother going through, but trust me, it's wonderful. It's a courtroom drama, past trauma, revenge tale that's wonderfully set up and executed, keeps you on your toes and creates a wonderful story at the heart of this one. Highly recommended. Number 6, The Game. Nicholas Van Orton is a wealthy banker. In the year of his 48th birthday, the same age his father committed suicide, his brother Conrad suddenly returns and gives Nicholas a card giving him entry to unusual entertainment provided by something called CRS. Giving in to curiosity, Nicholas visits the company and all kinds of weird and bad things start to happen to him. David Fincher creates a wonderfully absurd mystery here with Michael Douglas at the heart of it. You get Sean Penn as his brother, you get mysteries, you get weirdness, you get strange oddities that have happened that build on the mystery theme of this. It is wonderfully put together by Fincher, who creates an outstanding tale here, and this one is not to be missed. Number 5, Rocketman. Young Reginald Dwight changes his name to Elton John and collaborates with singer-songwriter Bernie Taupin to become one of the most iconic figures in pop history. Set to his most beloved songs, this epic musical story of Elton John's breakthrough years in the 70s and his fantastical transformation from shy piano prodigy into international superstar. I really liked Rocket Man, whereas Bohemian Rhapsody was kind of fan service and gave you the biggest points in the band's career without getting into the kind of dirt and grime. Rocket Man doesn't do that. It's happy to show you some of the rough and tumble parts of the story of Elton John. It's warts and all, and it's captivating. Great performance by Taron Egerton in the lead role in this wonderfully elaborate and engaging biopic. Number 4, scary stories to tell in the dark. It's 1968 in America, the small town of Mill Valley, where for generations the shadows of the Bellows family has loomed large. It is their mansion on the edge of town that Sarah, a young girl with horrible secrets, turned her tortured life into a series of scary stories, written in a book that has transcended time. Stories that have a way of becoming all too real for a group of teenagers who discover Sarah's terrifying tomb. It's a horror movie for young adults. It's a kind of gateway into horror as well. It has iconic imagery, it has fun gothic themes, it has spooky elements all the way throughout it. It's a movie that has a kind of dark ending as well of sorts, and one that kind of gives me a good sensation of heebie-jeebies while I watch this one. Not overly scary, and if you don't like overly scary, you'll find something here that is effective and kind of fun. Number 3, Arrival. Linguistics professor Louise Banks leads an elite team of investigators when gigantic spaceships touch down in 12 locations around the world. As nations teeter on the verge of global war, Banks and her crew must race against time to find a way to communicate with the ETs. Hoping to unravel the mystery, she takes a chance that could threaten her life and quite possibly all of mankind. Arrival's a wonderful story. Denis Villeneuve directs the hell out of this, and Amy Adams gives a truly magnificent performance in this movie of aliens arriving on Earth and just trying to decipher what it is they're telling us. And it wraps up in a wonderfully emotional moment as you come to terms with what is actually happening. And it's terrific. Number 2, The Final Girls. When Max and her friends reluctantly attend a tribute screening of an infamous 80s slasher film that starred Max's late mother, they are accidentally sucked into the silver screen. They soon realise that they are trapped inside the cult classic movie and must team up with the fictional and ill-fated camp bloodbath counsellors, including Max's mum as the shy scream queen, to battle the film's machete-wielding masked killer. With a body count rising in scene after iconic scene, who will be the final girls left standing and live to escape this film? If you're a slasher fan, there is so many tropes addressed within this loving homage to that, as well as putting a kind of meta spin on it and tying it all together with a relationship drama at the heart of it, as a young girl comes to terms with her mum in her youth who has now passed away. It's incredibly effective, it's incredibly fun, it's got humorous moments, it's got slasherific moments, and it's one that seems to skip under the radar of a lot of genre fans. Highly recommended. Number 1, Love and Monsters. 7 years after the monster apocalypse, Joel Dawson, along with the rest of humanity, has been living underground ever since giant creatures took control of the land. After reconnecting over radio with his high school girlfriend Amy, who's now 80 miles away at a coastal colony, Joel begins to fall for her again. As he realises that there is nothing left for him underground, he decides against all logic to venture out and find Amy, despite all the dangerous monsters that stand in his way. I was really surprised with Love and Monsters. I really enjoyed it. Dylan O'Brien is great as the main character, Joel. You get Boy the dog, which is a character all of itself. You get people that come into this movie that just brighten the screen and add so much fun to it. It's not the most original, it's not the most unique, but it's really fun at what it does, and it creates that easy watching entertainment that's going to make me go back and watch it again and again and hope that we're going to get sequels. Oh, such a good film. So there we have it. 10 movies for you to check out this month. I hope you find something there that you're going to enjoy, and maybe something that sparks a little bit of interest and keeps you busy this month. If there's anything I've missed off my list, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.